what does the US border look like under the new Trump administration? The border is always a big story, even when the media is not paying attention to it. At Smarter News, we watch the border numbers every single month, and we've done that since the beginning of the founding of this news site because the border has a way of driving policy and politics and people and mobilizing people, especially during an election year. Border encounters this year, if we look at this year compared to last year, have drastically decreased in a very measurable way. And part of the reason they've decreased is because a policy change by the Biden administration that came via executive action in the summer of 2024. And what it essentially said is if you come into this country without legal status, so let me put that in just common language. If you sneak across the border and you get caught and you say you want to apply for asylum, you can't. Now, that's a really controversial topic, even though it hasn't been covered exactly that way, because asylum and being able to pursue asylum only happens if you have 2 feet on US soil. If you're applying for permission to come to the United States because of something that's happening in your home country, you can apply for a status as a refugee. But asylum seeking has to happen in the United States. And our laws essentially protect people, even if they're coming across without legal status. The key here is this is not legislation. And it has been challenged in court. And that court challenge is continuing because essentially it changes the definition of asylum. Can a president do that through executive action? Does it have to be legislation? And so this is the cases that are working their way through the court systems right now. And that's a really big question for the Trump administration. Do they continue this policy? How do they continue it? With Republicans having the House and the Senate, do they try to change asylum in a legislative way? We've also heard from President-elect Trump, about mass deportations. And there's a real question about how that's going to look. And I want to show you a graph. The red line is the caseload of the number of people that should be removed in the United States. They don't have legal status to be here. They don't have permission. The staffing of Border Patrol, which is in green, the ERO staffing specifically that would do these removals in blue. And what you're seeing here is that the number of caseloads has increased dramatically over the last 10 years, but the staffing has not increased. And so that's a big question for the Trump administration. What does staffing look like for Border Patrol agents? How do our resourcing or resources at the border impact policy actually playing out?